What's up guys, it's your brother from another mother, Coach Kam Izzwan. By the way, nak tanya you guys, kalau lembu makan rumput boleh jadi besar, how about manusia makan sayur? Boleh tak? Hari ini our guest bukan saja vegetarian, malah dia pun sudah memenangi pingat dalam sukan bina badan. Sebelum tu, kita mula dengan thank you very much kepada anda semua yang menonton dan follow kami. Tak kisah you all berada di mana, please support misi kami untuk membantu dan mengurangkan 1% obesity di Malaysia by liking, following our channel and share dengan kawan-kawan you all. Welcome to the 6th episode of Kam Izzwan podcast channel. Di channel kami, saya berkongsi tentang fakta sains dan pada masa sama invite credible and successful individual in their respective field. Siapakah dia yang sado dan makan sayur? Prabha. First thing first, Prabha, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much sebab give me the opportunity to ask you and interview you. Okay. Hari ini kita akan discuss a few things lah. Number one, kita akan discuss regarding about bagaimana you started your journey sebagai bina badan dan juru latih bertauliah. Dan kedua, kongsi perjalanan dalam sukan bina badan. Ketiga, kenapa you choose to be vegetarian. Just now you shared with me, interesting. Dan yang keempat, misconception tentang nak bina otot as a vegetarian dan juga nasihat kepada mereka dekat luar sana yang nak mula buat vegetarian diet. Okay, Prabha.
Sure.
Let us start dengan how do you actually started with sukan bina badan? Daripada zaman sekolah lagi, in the early stage.
Okay. How it started is my dad, when I was young, he was a amateur boxer.
Oh.
So memang dari kecil, he was very physically active and he encouraged me as a boy to be physically active. So I started, you wouldn't believe it, I started training myself from the age of 10, as in proper training, as in write my program down and follow a routine. But he started me off very early at the age of 7, following him for jogs, doing push-ups, sit-ups, shadow boxing and so forth, skipping. He bought me simple home equipment for me to start doing my own routine in the room. But he did mention to me that you do not go to the gym until you're 18 plus. I'm like, why? You'll become short. Obviously, that advice didn't work, but I'm still short.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, misconception. But yeah, I started quite early. Bodybuilding, seriously, was from the age of 18 baru saya start.
Faham. Okay, so how do you choose bodybuilding?
Okay, I actually visited few gyms before I actually became a member. So one of the gym assistant over there was Mr. Penang. So I'm yeah, not Z3, and another Chinese guy.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, okay, I want to be like him when I grow up. You know, that was a spark. And of course, growing up watching cartoons back then, you've got like Thundercats, He-Man, and so forth. You look at the male character, the main character, he's always buff.
Kepada generasi millennial ni, tak tahu apa tu. Kan?
Yes. Okay. So inspired by that.
Okay, so you're trying to say that, okay, you started with your dad at the age of 10. Were he still competing during that period of time?
No, it's just amateur boxing, and within this circle of friends, small level.
Why is he persuading you like you have to go?
Oh, my dad is very old school Indian man, you know. So he's like, a boy has got to be physically active. You got to pick a sport, not just sport. You have to be physically able to defend yourself.
Faham?
Sport is one. Martial arts is a must for him. So I picked karate. I competed in karate also. You know, won a gold medal in sparring and so forth. That was when I was 15. So he's always been, if you're a man, you must be able to do these kind of things.
Okay.
So I grew up like that environment, you know.
Okay, this is out of topic. Kita fikir balik the current Generation Z dengan millennial lah kan. I don't think the parents persuaded, force or tell their kids to go in martial arts. During our era, I buat silat, I buat taekwondo. You buat juga kan?
Yes.
Before this, I interview a few athletes juga. Karate, taekwondo kan?
It's a norm.
It's a normal thing, betul kan? Sekarang, you buat apa? Nothing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So strange. Okay? The generation changed a lot.
Yes.
Okay, betul. Okay, so that's when you started, 18 years old kan?
Yep.
When you decided to be an athlete, compete as a bodybuilder.
At the age of 18, I already knew I wanted to compete. That time was back in Penang, but I didn't have any proper guidance and so forth. Got gym bros encouraging, you got to do this, you got to do that. But when I came to KL, I met my work colleague Chris. So he's the one that saw the potential in me, while the rest of the colleagues.
Who is he?
Chris, it was my
Just colleague je lah.
colleague.
Bukan bodybuilder ke apa.
No, but he was very into bodybuilding. He's just that he had no desire to step on stage. So through me, he got to live there, I suppose, So he was the only one that encouraged me and stood by me till my last competition, which was in 2017.
Okay, we're going to go there later. So, how long it took you to be ready for a competition? So you started working.
Started working at the age of 18 is I became a trainer.
Okay.
So I knew what I wanted to do pretty young. So, and then when I came to KL, is when it took me 2 years to prepare for my bodybuilding competition.
Okay.
So back then, you did things the hard way. You bought books from the bookstore.
Betul.
There's no such thing as Googling
yeah.
YouTube and all that. So you did things the hard way. So it took longer.
Right.
And all the supplements were expensive, not readily available, and all the PEDs, the enhancements are very underground, as in actual underground.
Betul.
So it took much longer than I anticipated. So
Now the lain sikit. Now it's like people are much more open. So that's the reason why juga I welcome you to share anything regarding about supplement and juga PED lah.
Yep.
If you are
Sure, definitely.
transparent enough. Okay, let us start dengan supplement. What was your supplement stack?
back then, the usual protein whey. If you are lucky, that time you got creatine.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, you got creatine.
Because of the price or?
Price point number one. Number two, the availability wasn't there. And even protein, back then, the brand that probably doesn't even exist right now.
Okay.
With the Hollies.
Oh my God. yeah.
Nowadays, people won't even know the brand, And you get small little tubs like that. You treated it like gold. So, yeah, those were my supplement stack. And back then, we were broke,
Okay, were you already a vegetarian?
No, back then, no. I only became a vegetarian in 2019.
Okay, so that was, recently lah.
Recently, 4 years back.
18, 19, 20, preparing for competition, using supplement. And what happened after that? Did you compete at the age of 20 years old, 21, 22?
Oh, no. I wanted to compete at the age of 21. Okay. Because 21, you still fall under junior category.
Sure.
And I knew I was good enough to win the junior category.
Okay.
Then Chris sat me down saying, it's not about winning. It's about when you win, you got to win well. So he said, take another year, go in at 22. I'm like, bro, then I'll be competing against the veterans, the more experienced guys. So what? You want to be the best, you got to compete against these fellas anyway.
Right.
So I just waited it out. So the previous generation knew how to pass the marshmallow test. We delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Nowadays generation is a bit different.
Sekarang kena sekarang juga.
Now, I wanted it yesterday, but today is the next best thing, that kind of.
Okay, so 3 years, preparation 3 years. Can you share a bit your briefly, your nutrition and also your training?
Okay.
3 years.
Oh, yeah, nutrition was... Now when I look back, what I was doing back now, I was like, wow, this is really bodo, Eating 30 eggs a day.
Right.
30 telur. Tuna in water.
Right.
It used to be so bad. I used to eat tuna and water with a glass of Milo or whatever. I can have some taste.
Right.
Put the whole chunk in my mouth, swallow it. No such thing as chewing it.
Right.
When you do that for the whole entire prep, you're no longer looking at food as food.
Yeah.
It's just something that to fuel your
Betul.
your journey. So tuna in water, eggs, bread, rice, very basic stuff.
Okay.
Because I was just starting out my career in KL back then. My salary was $1,000. And for good measure, the manager gave me 50 ringgit food allowance. 50 ringgit.
Macam mana survive sekarang Back then okay lah. How much is it go again?
Boleh survive. This was in 2002. 2002.
Boleh lah hidup sikit.
But I was living with my grandmother, so okay, not too bad. So no rental.
Faham.
So boleh lah survive. Last time lah.
Speaking of the bodoh part, I mean, you're not the only person. I pun, before this pun Kumar, Edmund, we all lah kan. Because we don't have the right people to guide us. It's more on the bro science. Pergi gym, orang ni kata tu, orang ni kata tu. Then we create our own rationales of, I think, tuna will be better.
Yes.
Kan?
Yes.
If they say 15 telur, I eat 30 telur.
Yes. And then you throw away the yolk.
Yeah, betul.
And then my grandmother used to be like, "What the hell are you doing? Bazir."
Betul.
You know? So, yeah.
Just nak tanya kat you all semua yang tengah tonton kan, masih ada orang buat macam tu lagi ke? I'm very certain ada. I'm very certain
Bro science.
ada. Bro science. Tak salah tau. If you think pain is gain, is your choice. You know, if you think your makan have to rasa macam cat food diet, I call it cat food diet, go ahead. If you rasa nak jadi sadar makan telur je, go ahead. But yeah, ada easier way. So, hear from us lah, our own experience. We've gone through it already. And kita fikir balik, quite bodoh lah kan. Quite bodoh. But anyway, okay, 3 years preparation. Then, first competition.
So first competition was in 2004. Because I'm from Penang, I wanted to go back to my hometown and compete. So I competed in the lightweight category.
Lightweight category is
65 to 70 kilos. So I was going up against a veteran guy. I placed second.
Nice.
But fortunately for me, every bodybuilding contest, they get to select 2 athletes from every category. And my category winner happened to be a veteran champion as well. That means the veteran category.
Right.
So the selection for Mr. Malaysia, he did not go for lightweight. He went to veteran.
Masters lah.
He went to Masters lah.
Class.
So they selected me to enter the lightweight. I'm like, no way I'm going for Mr. Malaysia. I just placed second. I didn't even get champion.
Right.
I'm not doing it. You know? So I went on my bulking. And then I get a call from my previous gym owner. He's like, do you know how many people will kill to be in your sport? Get selected to go to Mr. Malaysia? It's a privilege. It's a prestige thing and you're declining it. Your first ever competition, you get selected. So I'm like, okay, fine. Go. By that time, I already bloated.
Right.
Off diet, kan? So instead of going for lightweight category, I ended up in welterweight category.
75 to 80.
75 to 80. To my surprise, I actually placed top 5.
Wow.
First competition. So in that year itself, I competed 4 times. I tried many times. First, I tried Mr. Selangor. I tried Mid Valley first.
Mr. Mid Valley?
Yeah, Mid Valley, they had a contest.
Oh, wow.
Bakat baru entered.
Okay.
You know Sam Adnan. Yes. Same category as Sam Adnan.
Okay.
You know, both of us clearing.
Yeah, but category, I think it's 65 to 70.
But Bakat baru is open.
Oh yeah, open. Yes.
Open. So anybody boleh masuk.
Yeah.
So the stage was packed with all these guys trying to compete, you know. And back then I competed natty, my first competition natty. I'm like, what the Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You're welcome.
So placed out of the ring, you know, not even top 10, you know. And then the fun began. When I started preparing for Mr. Selangor, I got on the juice.
When is that? 2000?
Same, 2004.
Oh, okay.
Same year.
Okay.
And then I got called out for comparison right up to top 6. But back then they had top 6. Yeah. They were trying to choose between me and another guy. I placed out. Okay. I didn't make the top 6. But I know, okay, they're starting to compare me. It's good. It's working. The juice is working. So I continued my cycle right up to Mr. Penang. Okay. Mr. Penang is where I knew, okay, you want to compete, you want to win,
juiced up.
You have to be enhanced.
You got the juiced up.
Unless you have one of those rare genetics, like genetic freaks,
right?
That's a different category, lah. You know, Asian guys like us, short in stature, no chance.
No chance.
No chance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, now speaking of juice, what trigger you to start enhancing, and how do you know what cycle to do?
Oh, Chris. He is the brains behind all of this, not me. I'm the brute. I know how to train. I can train hard.
Okay.
You ask me to diet, eat the same food for 6 months, a year, I will do it.
Right.
Wake up, do my cardio first thing in the morning, train afternoon, evening another session of cardio, I will do it. You just need to tell me what I need to do in terms of juicing. I didn't know anything about juice.
See. Okay.
So back then I remember Chris was the one who guided me on what I needed to take, how I needed to take, the timing and so forth, So, yeah, and I also had a very bad experience injecting my first steroid. Because back then you don't get stuff available like injections, you don't get it. The syringes, you don't get it.
Right.
What you get in the pharmacy is the insulin syringes.
Right.
All right. So insulin syringe is tiny.
Right.
But back then we believe that you need to go intramuscular. Okay. The ass has a lot of fat. It's not going to become IM. It's going to be subcutaneous.
Yep.
It's going to go into the fat.
Yep.
Which is the least fat prone area? Shoulders. So jab into my shoulder. The next day MC. Tak boleh pergi kerja.
Smaller.
Tak boleh angkat tangan pun.
Right.
But I know the oil is in there lah.
Right.
So in regards to my cycle, Chris was the man.
Okay, Cok, warning kepada anda semua ya. Jangan membabi buta. Oh, okay lah, I pun nak cuba. Because Prabha dah buat and jadi. Like, no. Jangan membabi buta. He's just sharing his experience. And it doesn't mean that he's doing it, you should do it.
Yep.
Okay, because, he's still healthy, good for him. No bad things happen kan?
Oh, ada.
Okay, ni kita nak dengar. Kita tak tahu dia, nak tahu dia. Okay, then what happened?
So, we got to fast forward a bit, a few years down the road. This was in 2014.
Right.
Okay. So, first competition was 2004. I took a big break in between for 7 years. Focused on my career, wanted to buy a house, wanted to get married and all that jazz. After that was done, 2014, after winning Mr. Malaysia welterweight category, I've achieved my dream of becoming Mr. Malaysia. I can call myself Mr. Malaysia, even though it's a category. It's Mr. Malaysia. Yeah. All right. I was depressed as
Why is that?
because I didn't do a proper PCT, post-cycle therapy. Like I said, I didn't know much about this. I know what I needed to take, but I didn't know how to cycle it off, what I needed to do and so forth. So I just came off and all my hormones came crashing. And I'm sitting down there, fat. I'm Mr. Malaysia. I just won the category title 6 months ago.
Right.
I'm sitting down my car, fat, crying.
Wow.
Yep, crying. So the first person that came to my mind was my sister. I messaged her. I said, something is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm feeling suicidal. Right. And I was actually considering it because I saw a train passing by. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know why, but I'm done. You start questioning your existence and so forth because all your hormones is back.
Yeah, betul.
So my sister immediately called my then girlfriend and said, something's wrong with Prabha. Go and check on him, take him to the hospital, get him checked. And true enough, when the doctor did my check, he said, you're healthy, except for your testosterone level is non-existent. As a guy, if you don't have testosterone, you're gone. Your health takes a toll, your mood, energy, everything takes a toll. Huh? So I also made a video on my IG to share. Do not glamorize PED use. Do not do this. I've shared it multiple times. Because people, what they see on the outside is they see the glamour side of competing.
Betul.
Standing there with the trophy, looking good with all the 6-pack, 8-pack, whatever, ripped to shreds and all that. Right. They don't see what's going on the back.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And I've had multiple occasions like this. Depressed. Right after competition, your body even goes, because suddenly you load up with your body with a lot of food, drinks and all that.
Yeah.
I had a full-on cramp, the whole body for an hour. Agony. So these are the signs that most people don't see.
Yeah.
And a lot of bodybuilders, they don't even share this.
Betul. They think it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal as in, oh, you're having mood swing after a competition.
Yeah.
You gain tremendous weight because it's post-competition.
Correct.
Rebound.
Correct.
But after viewing many, not just people that use or abuse, but there are doctors out there share a bit about PED tau. Diorang bagi tahu PED ni kalau kita tak tahu apa kita buat, kita abuse lah. Kan? But kalau kita tahu apa kita buat, it benefit us. Especially orang yang dah berumur 50 tahun ke atas. Dia ada kegunaan sebenarnya.
Yes.
I do know numbers of athlete kat luar sana. This is the first time I dengar daripada Prabha lah, his cerita. But I do know numbers of athlete out there. Bila habis comp, they went missing. Their life is like so miserable. They rasa like, you know what, if there's no competition, I don't feel that there's anything in life.
Yep.
Nothing is worthwhile to them. Because when they compete, they were using things, they feel better, stronger, happier.
Correct.
So I see that macam kesian lah.
Yes.
Kesian lah. But I like the part that you share this part, because ramai orang kat luar sana akan assume, oh, if I use steroids or use any kind of PED, it's going to benefit me in many ways. But they don't see the downside.
Correct.
Kalau you abuse. Okay, then what do you do?
Tagging on that, okay, some smart aleck is going to think, oh, okay, if you say you don't know how to use, I'll learn how to use and I'll use it wisely.
So?
I've had 2 friends who actually died.
Oh,
Yep. So how do you know?
is he are they an athlete?
Competing.
Oh, shit.
You know, right? In 2014, my friend.
Don't give the name by the street.
Yeah, my friend, he came from my Mr. Malaysia. He congratulated me. He was very happy. He's like, okay, after your Penang trip, I made a Penang trip. I wanted to go eat all the nasi kanda and all that, you know, off diet. What? He said, once you're back, we go for teh tarik.
Right.
I mean, Penang, I received a message saying that he passed away of a heart attack.
How old is he?
He was in his early 30s.
Shit, younger than me, yo.
Had two kids, young kids, you know. He just had a heart attack and died. And before that, there was another guy. He kept placing second in Badan Cantik. That time they had Badan Cantik, you know. So he asked the judges, what am I doing wrong? Or what I can do better to get first. So they said, you're not dry enough.
Right.
This guy jumped on the diuretic bandwagon. He dehydrated himself. He placed second still. On the way back, he told his friend, I want to go and drink teh tarik. I want to go off my diet. I'm going to drink teh tarik. They were driving in a car. He didn't get up.
Well, what year was it?
This was early 2012, around there, I think. 2012. Yeah. So, and he was in his early 20s. Eh? So if you think that you can get away with it, you don't know. Even like you, myself, we didn't know how our body will respond.
Betul.
We just took a gamble, we throw the dice. Luckily enough, we survived. For now. We don't know what the side effects may be in the future and so forth, you know. So do what you got to do. If you want to do it properly, do it with proper guidance and get out of it as soon as you can.
Ada satu cerita ni, because when you mentioned Badan Cantik, back in 2000, what was it 14 ke 15, I can't remember which year was it. Badan Cantik memang popular datang. Mr. ACT.
Yeah.
What year? Yeah, ramai 1,000 orang masuk.
That was 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it? Yeah. No lah, I belum balik dari Australia, bro.
Yes,
Tu masa Kuba competed. I think
maybe earlier.
Oh, okay, I think 2012. Oh, yeah, betul. I think it's 2012.
Yeah, the competition went up to at midnight or something like that. Some crazy, I think 2012.
2012. Okay, so the cerita macam ni. One of the participant yang compete for Badan Cantik, I know him personally. His friend. So, what my friend cakap ni, they went to rave party a week before. They took whatever they wanted to take. You know lah. Kan? On top of that, they take diuretic. They competed. Then diorang pergi nak makan seafood ke apa. Then died in the car. So I tengok, that time was Facebook. Tengok Facebook. Then the girlfriend dia upload gambar dekat bilik mayat dah.
Yep.
I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yep.
Kan I saw like last week they were partying.
Yes.
Then suddenly mati. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yes.
So I would conclude this as a very risky thing that these people are doing. They take hard drugs. They take, enhancement, then they assume that baru umur 20 tahun boleh hidup lagi 100 tahun.
Yeah.
And buat lah, ambil je semua benda, masih muda lagi.
Body can adapt.
Body can adapt.
My body is still strong. Yeah, it looks strong on the outside.
Betul. So that's scary lah. Bila I saw that, I was like, shit. I pun takut.
You're gambling with life, literally, So be careful.
So that is 2012. And after that, what happened?
In regards to my competition.
Competition.
Okay.
Kan you depressed semua, then...
Oh yeah. So I've won Mr. Okay. Rewind back. That 7 years break that I do. When I came back in 2012.
Right.
So of course I did not. There's unfinished business because I placed second in Mr. Penang in 2004. Unfinished business for myself lah. Personal goal lah kan, to be Mr. Penang as a Penangite. So I went back 2012, competed, and I became the overall champion.
Wow. Yes.
So fun. Then went to Mr. Malaysia, got my ass kicked on stage, placed 11, So now second unfinished business.
Right.
So came back. So back then I was already living in KL. So Misai, I think you know Misai, the photographer. So he said, why are you already won Mr. Penang already, overall. Why are you going back to Penang to compete? Compete dekat KL lah, since you're living in KL. So I was like, no lah, KL is too competitive for me and all that. I think I go back. It's like, never mind, compete KL first. The following week, you go and compete in Penang. And happens to be I placed second in my welterweight category then. And I got selected immediately.
Right.
So I said, okay lah, I don't want to waste my time lah. So I prepared for Mr. Malaysia. This is 2014 lah. Fortunately, the guy that placed first in that Mr. KL, he placed second. So we switched places in Mr. Malaysia. So that's how I won my second title, Mr. Malaysia welterweight in 2014. Then I competed in Mr. Selangor, placed second. Then my last competition was, I said I want to win KL overall this time. This was 2017, 3 years down the road. Competed. And I won my category. I won above 70 kilos champ of champ.
Right.
And also overall, right? So
Ganas.
After that, I'm done already.
Right.
The body will give you signals.
Yeah.
Your aging.
Yeah. What else you want?
Yeah, you want to go out as a champion. I believe for me, I want to go out as a champion. I'm a very prideful that way. Ego, bodybuilders ego. That's why we do this in the first place. So I want to go out as a champion, and that's it. That was the end of it.
Right. Yeah. I pernah kongsi dengan dalam episode Kumar tau, that Kumar and Edmund, I said no competitive athlete, regardless powerlifting, strongman, bodybuilding, nak masuk just to get first, dapat second or third.
Yep.
Dia orang nak masuk untuk menang tau. So they will do whatever it takes, regardless lah, training sehari 4 kali ke, makan kertas saja ke, they just do whatever it takes. So Prabha have achieved that. Menang semua benda. He already set that goal. So after that, you decided to stop because you rasa that, you know what, I've achieved everything. I need to give my body a break. Or is it because of that hormone dysfunction that you start feeling depressed and...
No. Actually, I decided to stop competing because as a kid, I set myself certain goals, certain milestones I want to achieve. Mr. Penang, done. Mr. Malaysia, done. Where I'm living, Mr. KL.
Right.
I mean KL. So, Mr. KL, done.
Okay.
If you want to go to like Asia level and so forth, you have to do other things,
Of course.
So I realized with bigger titles comes more investment.
Betul.
Which at that point, investment, I'm not talking about just financial investment, your health investment, your time. As a bodybuilder, there's literally zero social life.
Betul gila, guys.
Yeah, so don't there's no such thing as balance when you want to become a champion.
Yeah.
These are all new ideologies. You have to have work-life balance and all that. No such thing. So I realized my priorities were shifting back then. So I said, okay lah.
Totally agree. I'm going to touch on that part a bit regarding about bila you compete, regardless of powerlifting, bodybuilding. I pernah discuss with Kumar before. At one period, I was competing with Kumar. Okay. Then I quit because not genetic-wise. It's just that I cannot commit as other athlete. Means most of the time, you makan, you tidur, you training.
Yep.
And during that period of time, I established already my company, 2013. It affected my business so much. Because I try my best to not to have many clients. Because you need to focus makan semua kan.
Right.
So I told my client like in a day I could only take 3 clients. Itu saja. Cannot take anymore. And at the same time mood swing. Mood swing lah, malas lah. You fikir malas nak train orang ni. Okay.
Exactly.
So I told myself and Kumar like, bro, you know what? I don't think I can go any further. I'll try powerlifting lah. Senang sikit. Tak perlu nak jaga makan sangat.
Correct.
You can still compete on your weight class.
Yep.
So clearly understand that. But the commitment to jadi the best of the best, penat.
Yes, very tiring. Very, very tiring. And involves a lot of other areas that people don't think about.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, then kita sambung. The depression after that or before that?
In between.
In between. So how do you run out from the depression?
Okay, so
You put back the hormone together. Okay.
Yes. So I asked the doctor, what can I do? 2 choice. You can either do a post-cycle therapy, wait till your natural testosterone bounces back, or you can get on a lower dosage of testosterone, but only testosterone. You don't put all the other stuff in there, I'm like, okay. So I've been on tests ever since. I've not stopped.
Okay.
But I do my checkups. I do my blood work. So it's been going okay so far.
What's the term? Dia panggil yang testosterone tinggi and you ambil very small.
TRT.
TRT.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called TRT, but the dose that I'm taking, you ask bodybuilder, they say, oh bro, this is TRT. But if you ask a doctor, they say, no, this is not TRT. You're already taking a very low dose bodybuilding cycle already. This is 250 per week.
Okay.
TRT usually they recommend half of that, 125, 175. There's been some debates in regards to this as well. Some guys have tried the 125, 175 and got side effects.
Right.
I've been on 250 for a long time with no side effects.
Right.
So when we get our stuff, we may think that we are injecting 250. What we are injecting, nobody knows. How much we are injecting, nobody knows.
Right.
So how you can tell is just by how your body reacts.
Yes. And also your medical report lah.
Correct. Unless you do a thorough check on what you zero in and how much actually is available in your body, then you.
Yeah, betul. Okay, since we're on this topic, who's the guy dekat Thailand yang just passed away?
Thailand. Joel, what Linda?
Something Joe Shreds or something.
Yep.
Can he got
Aneurysm.
Yep. Can.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think it's due to PD? Because one of his podcasts, dia pernah cakap, he was taking, it wasn't the PD, it was the COVID.
Yeah.
COVID booster.
So there's a lot of theories behind that. But you can see this trend. I mean, we as humans, we are biologically, we can recognize patterns. You can see patterns emerging in the bodybuilding community where guys who are age 25 are just falling and dying out of heart attack out of nowhere, look so healthy, So in his case, I think they also theorize that it's the vaccine, the booster, and some people say because he was on EQ,
Right.
blood became too thick and caused the rupture. So you never know what's the actual cause.
Overall, apa yang you kena faham adalah it's a risk lah. A risk whereby, the worst thing gonna happen is you're gonna die. The good part would be you look good lah.
Yep.
You're just gonna look good, but are you gonna be happy for the entire life? That's subjective. And that's why I like to invite a lot of competitive athletes yang enhance dengan tak enhance. They are welcome to share their journey and what they have gone through. Like for him, he say the worst experience will be depression. Suicidal and depression.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, jap. I'm not a psychologist or therapist lah, but I've gone through a phase in my life whereby I feel depressed. And ni bukan sebab android ke apa tau, because I've experienced it before. I felt depressed, but I don't feel that I want to kill myself. So the suicidal part, is there anything that actually influence you want to kill yourself? Or is it just because that, you know what, I nak bunuh diri? Were you in a moment whereby mungkin you gaduh with your spouse?
That is what opened my eyes actually.
What is it?
everything was going very well in my life. My business was doing good. I have just won the title which I've always wanted.
Right.
You know, not many people win Mr. Malaysia.
Betul.
You know,
Yeah.
and I got just at that point in it, I got a new girlfriend.
Right.
You know, who then became my second wife. You know, my second marriage. You know, so everything in my life was good. I was having good relationship with my first ex-wife. My relationship with my daughter, with my family, everything was going well. There was no reason for me to be thinking this kind of thoughts in the first place.
Right.
That was the moment for me. I realized this is not normal. If I had a fight or something's going bad in my life, I understand. Maybe emotionally I'm doing it because of they want to run away.
Right.
Everything was super good.
Right.
You know, and I'm having this kind of thoughts, not normal.
No. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a good example untuk semua orang tahu. It's not just what we think or environment, it's also our hormone. And because many people assume thought of killing yourself is because maybe your surrounding is very negative. Or maybe because you're going through in your life yang benda sedih. But based on your cerita, everything was perfect.
Perfect.
Cuma hormon je tak perfect.
Yeah.
Kan? Hormon je haywire.
Yep.
So yeah, okay, that's interesting. Now, maybe you can share a bit because you mentioned about second marriage. Tak dengar macam it affect your preparation, tak dengar macam it affect your...
Yeah, that's one thing. Like even back in 2004, I don't know whether many people know this or not. 2004, I'm very close to my mom before she passed away. 2004, she actually passed away from breast cancer. Wow. She was only 44 years old. You know, she passed away in March. My competition was in May, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I still competed.
Right.
I still prepared.
So sedih apalah kan.
Sedih is normal. It's normal to feel sedih. It's normal to
sedih is normal, guys.
Yes, it's normal. But how you express it, you know, you feel sedih, you don't go around killing people lah.
Betul.
You know, how you express it. Like for me, I channeled it into my training. And one very important question was, which I asked myself was, would my mother want me to compete? You know, of course she would have, you know. So back in 2004, even with my mom passing away, I still competed. In 2012, when I became overall champion of Mr. Penang, I had my first separation with my first marriage.
Right. Don't mind me asking, what is it? The reason is because...
Oh, because I was being a bad naughty boy lah.
Oh, you... Okay.
Yeah.
Faham.
Yeah. So...
high test, bro. What do you expect?
Yeah. And a lot of temptation. I was young, 30 years old. You know, you just do dumb shit, like, you know. So, so I separated with my first wife then, and after that I became Mr. Penang, you know. And then 2014 I broke up with my then girlfriend. No, she dumped me. What am I saying? Yeah, she dumped me. Right. I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm still going to compete. I became Mr. Malaysia.
Right.
You know? So I never looked at whatever that's happening outside of bodybuilding as a reason not to do or to do. This is separate. I'm going to do this regardless of how I'm feeling, or regardless of what's going on in my life.
Faham?
So, yeah.
Feeling sad, happy, depressed, it's part of our emotion lah. But your action speaks more than, you know, there's a saying, action speaks louder than words. Yeah. But I believe when you are a competitive athlete, you are doing things repetitively tau. Once you set a goal, and nak menang, tak kisah apa berlaku, you kena menang dulu.
Yes.
Then after that, you can feel sad, you can feel depressed. Macam you kata lah kan, the depressed part, after semua benda,
yes,
depressed.
Yeah.
Depressed. I can share a story. So, masa I was in Australia, okay, I was competing in tested competition. It was my first experience competing under tested competition. After one, they checked my penis and me peeing inside the cup.
Yep.
Okay. So, orang tak percaya, people put on Facebook like this guy doesn't look natty, blah, 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 dah menang. Okay. After menang tu, that was my first goal in my life. I need to go overseas and win overall. I won. I don't know what to do. So what do I do? I start makan. I makan from like 65 kg, it went up to like 85 kilos. 20 kilos within a week.
A week?
Very unhealthy.
Wow.
Even when I went to the gym people look at my leg, bro, this is very unhealthy. You expanded your legs, semua muka. Edema lah kan. Edema is water retention, yang very unhealthy way. Then I got depressed. As a netty, still depressed. Why? Because I'm very certain I felt that I've achieved everything in life at that moment.
Yep.
Because I just want to be the best of the best in bodybuilding. I achieved that, I don't know what else to do.
Yep.
Walaupun I tengah kerja, I tengah belajar at the same time. So, maybe from my cerita and also his cerita, you have to set a bigger goal.
Yes.
A bigger goal apart from just achieving nak kahwin 5 ke, I don't know lah kan. You nak menang bodybuilding ke, nak buat 1 juta. Have more goals that doesn't make sense. Because kan, even for me, I berangan nak jadi bodybuilder atau menang bodybuilding ni masa umur darjah 6. No, I don't know whether I can or not. But when it happened, like, I've already achieved everything I want. Maybe if we set an even bigger goal, maybe it's not going to be that bad lah.
Yes. I think as a man, setting goals and moving towards them is important. Achieving is not the idea.
Yeah. Progressing
towards that journey, the journey is more important.
Agree. Totally agree on that. Okay. Then after that, competition semua habis. Lepas tu apa you buat?
So 2017 was my last competition. Then I got married the second time.
Right.
And then I got divorced the second time.
Okay. Maybe you not share sikit. I can see a pattern here, but in my mind maybe I salah. Kan? Because you mentioned the first one was because man being man. So the second one because of?
Second one was I think I was just not ready to get married, and because I promised her that I want to get married, I will get married to her. And my second ex-wife is actually Malay, so for me converting and all that is not a big issue because I generally am more spiritual than religious. So I've converted, got married. She was a gem of a person. It's just that in my headspace, I wasn't ready to be the man that I can become. So I was going
Describe to me. What do you mean by a man that you want to become? Apa tu?
Because
Jadi ayah ke?
no, I became a father in my first marriage. So, but for me, I believe men only mature past 40.
40. That's what they say.
Yeah, past 40. And I thought it was just a saying. But through my life experience, it's true. Because I got married again the second time when I was about 36. But in my mind, I wasn't ready. It's not that I was being screwing around or nothing like that. But I didn't behave like a man, like a true man that takes care of his wife, of his businesses. So I was like at home most of the time. I don't socialize. I became fat again, So it was a repeating pattern something that needed to be solved within me. I needed to actually discover who I am first. Second divorce took place. That is when I realized, okay, you cannot be blaming others all the time.
Okay.
The constant is me. 2 divorces, 2 different people, 2 different background, 2 different time phase, but the constant was me. So the problem is actually me.
Okay.
So I realized, first marriage, I was screwing around. Okay. Second marriage, she actually asked for divorce. Okay. Because
Is it during COVID?
No. Before that. So the relationship towards the end, the marriage towards the end got violent, got hostile, got physical. This is what I told myself I will never be. Because I grew up in a very violent household. My dad being an old school Indian man, he used to physically abuse. I've shared this on my IG as well. So I actually grew up to be the man that I didn't want to be. So it's time for me to go introspect into what I'm all about. And the spiritual journey. I actually went to India. After this second marriage, I got divorced. I actually said, okay, something's wrong. I need to figure out.
Okay.
So I went on a spiritual journey. I actually took a trip to India. Sat in an ashram for 7 days.
What's ashram? Sorry.
It's like a
temple?
Not temple. Place where you go and learn about spirituality. Okay. This is Hindu based.
Okay.
But in that place you'll see all sorts of people from all kinds of backgrounds. Okay. Even Muslim people go there.
Right.
It's more on teachings on the teachings is more towards spirituality rather than grounded in Hinduism. So you start asking questions about yourself. Why do you exist in the first place? So forth. Then slowly I started to realize, okay, I need to work through certain childhood trauma, certain childhood.
Dah jadi macam terapi saya pergi sana.
Yeah.
Kan?
And funnily enough, it is when I arrived in India, it's the day I stepped foot in India is when I decided to become a vegetarian. So this was back in 2019. So we can go into that.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I arrived in India, I felt a certain level of peace, and yeah, at that point I already decided not going to compete. So I said, okay lah, there's no need for me to be consuming meat. No need for me to be consuming so many eggs and so forth. So I became a vegetarian, thinking that, okay lah, done lah, I'm going to lose muscle mass, I'm going to lose my strength and so forth.
Right.
But to my surprise, I was still holding on muscle mass. In fact, I actually gained a little bit more muscle mass in that process. My skin cleared up because I had a very traumatic experience in my childhood, as I was sharing with you earlier. My dad is Hindu, so he took me to a temple where I witnessed a goat being beheaded right in front of my eyes, and I was only like 4 years old. So that stuck with me, you know. And I used to go to the pasar with my mom.
See all the
You see all the ayam being slaughtered in front of your eyes, and so that sticks with you. But as adults, we grow and we rationalize our action.
Betul.
No, it's okay. You know, they are bred for consumption. It's fine and all that. But I know deep inside it wasn't okay. So it manifested in a lot of acne on my skin, sleep pattern disruption, and so forth. When I became vegetarian, it all went away. Not because of the diet. It is because that I've already reconciled with myself. There's no more guilt behind it.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, so that's the main reason lah why you became a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, now let's focus a bit on the part of vegan and building muscle. What could be the reason? Why do you think? Because I personally gone through a phase. Did I share this story that I was a vegetarian and I lost? Yeah, I mentioned just now again that I became a vegetarian for 7 days, 8 days, and I lost almost 3 kilos of muscles. So it doesn't make sense to me. So on your side, your story, why do you think that you are able to sustain your muscle, increase your muscle as a vegetarian?
So when I share this story, most people will discount it by saying, oh, because he's on TRT, he's on steroids.
Right.
Now, we are not discussing the point of being on steroid or not.
Right.
We are discussing, two individuals, both on steroids. One individual is vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, whatever you want to call it. One is meat eater. All right? Omnivore lah. Both can hold the same amount of muscle mass. How? Right. So right now, we have equalized the field by saying both is on steroids. So the steroids out of the equation actually. Come to the nutrition part is where the difference is. How can two individuals with two varying differences still able to build the same amount of muscle? In fact, how can the vegan actually gain this kind of muscle mass? Protein is protein.
Right.
You know, the cow that you eat consumes grass. Right. You know, obviously I'm not going to eat grass, you know. But with that being said, there are strategies where you can still get your complete profile of amino acids that's required to build muscle, if you know what you're doing.
Maybe you can share a bit with the viewers and listeners.
Yeah. So my main staple for my protein is soy. You know, and there's a lot of fear,
of course,
around soy.
Estrogen.
They don't realize actually it is phytoestrogen.
Yep.
You know, it's similar.
Okay.
But it's not actually estrogen.
Betul.
Okay. And funnily enough, the people that are concerned about this estrogen are mostly out of shape to begin with. Okay. What they don't realize is high body fat is one of the biggest contributor to estrogen.
Yes, betul.
You know, so instead of addressing that, they address minor things like this. You have to take mega tons of soy for you to even come close to getting the estrogenic side effects, you know. So it is possible, but it just requires a little bit more planning, a little bit more strategy in terms of organizing your food intake.
Yeah, agree on that.
Yeah.
And I want to add on, banyak orang tak tahu, bila you consume processed food, tak kisahlah burger, whatever, it mimics like estrogen, they call it xenoestrogen, whereby you can accumulate water retention and also fat. So ni benda yang mungkin first time you all dengar lah. Kalau you always point out, oh you know soy is not good for you, soy is not good. You know makan burgers pun tak bagus. Tak kisahlah you makan 500 calories. Yes, of course 500 calories tak banyak. But how the body absorb it, it's not the same like you eating whole food. So I've, pernah kena kecam banyak kali lah dalam social media. They say, I mentioned that if can eat as healthy as possible, but people say it's fine, janji calorie counting saja.
Yep.
I will argue on that. It's not just about the calories. Calorie is the foundation, but at the same time, we have to see the calorie comes from where. Sorry lah, out of the topic, because orang always focus on soy is not good because of estrogen, but they don't know the processed food. It mimics like estrogen juga. They call it xenoestrogen. Yang memang tak bagus. Okay, so until today, you're a vegetarian, a plant-based.
Plant-based, yeah.
Plant-based, okay. Sekejap. Sorry. I tak tengok soalan. I dengar je cerita. Okay. Misconception tentang bina otot. Regardless vegetarian atau tidak, based on your previous experience masa bro science dengan sekarang, what are the misconception about building muscles? As a general person.
Oh, general person.
Yeah.
The first one is very easy. Most people think that if you take steroids, you can build muscle.
I like that.
Which is yes and no. There are tests, there are studies which show you can actually gain muscle mass just by sitting down and taking steroid, but by doing nothing.
Right.
You can gain muscle mass, but it is not like a Mr. Universe,
Betul.
that sort of muscle mass we're talking about. It's lean mass. The same amount of steroids, whatever that you take, you still need to be able to use it to build muscle. So steroid doesn't equal muscle. I've known a lot of gym guys, especially now, they will tell me their cycle. I'm like, bro, first of all, do you even go to the gym?
Oh, they don't look like...
They don't even look like they go to the gym. So imagine being called a natty when you're fully juiced up is one of the worst things a guy can experience.
Betul.
If it's the other way around, it's a compliment.
Yalah.
If you're natty and people say, no, you're juiced up. Yeah, thank you, bro. But if you're not and people say you're natty, that's bad.
Something wrong.
So I know a lot of guys who are doing a lot of stuff, but they don't look anything like it.
Oh, shit.
So that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. You take steroids, you look like Arnold or whatever current bodybuilding champ is,
Yeah.
Which that's not true.
Okay.
So secondly, you cannot build muscle by being a vegan, being a vegetarian, People forget that I'm actually plant-based until I actually tell them, hey bro, I'm actually plant-based. They're like, how the hell are you this big? How you're strong? How come? You look like a normal chap who goes to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm doing. Protein is protein.
Right.
I just take more steps to get there. So, yeah.
Okay. I nak tambah sikit regarding about the PED tadi. You mentioned that memang there are studies, people take PED, can build muscle, tak buat apa-apa. Tapi doesn't mean you can take more and be bigger. Because body can only absorb a certain amount. The word that orang guna is aromatize. Kalau you ambil test a certain amount, your body, let me rephrase that. If you, let's say we throw a number lah, let's say you take 500 mg. Take 500 mg, your body can only absorb certain amount, yang remaining can aromatize. The chances untuk orang dapat high cholesterol is very high bila diorang abuse testosterone.
Yeah.
That's why it's very common orang yang abuse testosterone ada high cholesterol. Because it can aromatize juga. So ni yang banyak orang macam tak apalah, lagi banyak lagi bagus.
Yes.
Because I still remember during my competitive time, orang kata, oh ambil 1 gram, ambil 2 gram. Then I tak faham tau until Wong Hong kata, he is 110 kilo, tak sampai 1 gram pun. Meaning amount yang orang yang besar nak mampus pun, tak ambil sebanyak macam tu. Orang yang kecil gila nak ambil banyak macam tu. Doesn't make sense kan?
Correct.
Doesn't make sense.
Correct. So, speaking on the cholesterol level, that also leads to a lot of heart issues later on.
Yeah.
Which we can see a lot of bodybuilders in the 40s, 50s start to have heart issues. Some even pass away.
Yeah.
So it comes with the territory. And let's say you are one of the few that don't have heart issues and all that. When you aromatize, you can also develop man boobs.
Yeah.
Gyno.
Yeah.
So this is another issue that you can actually see. So more is not always better.
Betul.
Yeah. So there's a fine line.
So to top it off regarding what PED ni, kalau you nak guna PED, carilah orang yang boleh tolong. Even for him, he competed, he already won Mr. Malaysia, still jumpa doktor.
Yes.
Because doktor memang belajar benda ni kan. Bukan saya, bukan dia, tapi doctors. So if you all really nak guna, pergilah cari orang yang memang belajar in the industry, bukan bodybuilder ya.
Yep.
There can be bodybuilder out there kata, I dah pernah guna 10 tahun, tak apalah, bagus lah. Dia orang kan.
Yep.
But I'm very certain they cannot explain to you like how the physician explained to you. Okay. And yang seterusnya pula, as a vegetarian, a plant-based athlete, until today is a plant-based, you can still build muscle. I wasn't equipped with the right knowledge. That's why I didn't build enough muscle. And to be honest, I was doing fasting during that period.
Okay. Yeah.
It's catabolic.
Yep.
So it's very, very catabolic. So lose muscle lah. I know on that part. That's why dalam video tu ada bagi tahu. I berpuasa, I vegan, I lost my muscle. Now last question. What's your favorite quote?
Belief. So just one word, belief. Anything that you believe will come true. Regardless of whether it can be a lie to another person, as long as you believe it, it will come true.
Some people say, belief ni macam, if it happened to you, you're lucky lah. Tapi dalam sains kan, luck tak wujud tau. You know that? In science, there's no such thing as luck. It's more, they define luck as probability. Lagi kuat atau lagi consistent you do it, eventually you get it.
Yep.
Macam you said about your bodybuilding competition.
Correct.
You already set a goal, menang whatever, you just do it, you dapat.
Yep.
Okay. I have experienced that first hand juga masa in Australia. I didn't expect I'm going to win, but because dekat Malaysia pernah compete, tiba-tiba compete sana, oh menang.
Yep.
Kan? People say luck lah. Alright. Last bonus. Nasihat. What's your advice to whoever out there, mereka yang tengah mendengar dan menonton, if they want to attempt to be a vegetarian, what would be your advice to them? Dari nutrition wise and also dari segi exercise.
Okay. Very basic advice would be seek advice from people who are already on that journey already. That means people that's ahead of you.
Right.
You know, learn from their mistakes, learn from their success, shorten your learning curve. You know, so the same thing applies with training also. You know, you engage with the coach because the coach knows what he's doing. You know, so that's a very shortcut way to do things actually.
Speaking of that, learning from coach and people with experience, where do people find you?
On Instagram, Prabha82.
Okay, so if let's say they want to hire you as a coach or lifetime coach, life coach, life coach, so they can go to Instagram.
They can just DM me. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Easy.
Alright, Prabha, thank you very much for your time. Terima kasih share banyak sangat the life story and your competition experience. It's an eye-opening, especially the part kahwin and also PED. I believe you're my first guest yang cerita pasal PED. Thank you very much for that. And I believe pendengar dan penonton juga dapat belajar benda baru daripada kehidupan dan cerita Prabha. InsyaAllah kita akan jumpa lagi in the next episode. Alright guys, thank you very much. Take care. Assalamualaikum. Peace out. Take care.
Peace.